Back with another episode of Local Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. We are into July. That means fairs are going on, and the Pottawattamie County Fair in Avoca will be getting started next week. Of course, West Fair in Council Bluffs will be the following week. We'll try to track some folks down to talk about everything that's going on at the fair. But before that, there's an event coming up this Sunday. It is the Pottawattamie County Small Town Museum Tour, and a number of smaller museums around the more rural communities in Pottawattamie County are doing something special on Sunday. And we wanted to learn more about that, so we had a chance to talk with Ruby Bentley of Macedonia. And she is the president of the Macedonia Historical Preservation Society and fills us in on what she calls the County Museum Crawl, that it will be this Sunday. So it's an opportunity to get out and see some of the smaller museums that maybe you didn't even know were there, or maybe it's been a while since you visited. So Ruby's coming up on the show today. Castle & Associates of American Family Insurance is your local insurance provider for all of your home, auto, life, business, and farm insurance needs. 4 convenient locations. They're located in Traynor, also in Council Bluffs, Bellevue, and Elkhorn. They are local and in your neighborhood, ready to help you navigate the complexities of insurance today. Travis and his team educate, advise, and simplify insurance, all to protect those things you cherish most. Give them a call for your free quote. Do you or does someone you love need in-home care? Home Care Advocacy Network can help you maintain your own privacy and your own space while still receiving care and support with a personalized touch. Aging in place is so important for many people, and Home Care Advocacy Network can meet those needs with an understanding that assisted living is best at home. HCAN of Southwest Iowa brings the personal touch to care all across the region: Glenwood, Red Oak, Clarinda, Council Bluffs, all the surrounding communities. Visit hcan.com/Southwest Iowa to learn more. Well, as we mentioned, there is a Pottawattamie County Museum Tour that is coming up this Sunday, and part of the tour will be taking place in Macedonia, and that's why we have Ruby Bentley on today. Ruby is president of the Macedonia Historical Preservation Society. Thank you so much for your time, Ruby, and also, this is kind of a cool event that is going on and that you're a part of. So tell us a little bit more about it.
It's a Pottawattamie County Rural Museums Tour. And it's just to highlight and showcase all our unique little gems out here in Pottawattamie County. We have the Walnut Creek Historical Museum, and the Sweet Vale of Avoca, the National Heritage Museum in Oakland, and the Carson Railroad Depot. And in Macedonia, there's the Stempelberg Museum and the Pioneer Trail Museum. The Stempelberg Museum is a collection of over 300 birds. They're most of them over 125 years old.
Wow!
And it was our one of our small town doctors, that was his hobby, was to taxidermy birds. And so those are on display. It's a wonderful collection. The Pioneer Trail Museum features, everything Macedonia. The Pioneer Mormon Trail went through Macedonia. So we try to focus on that at the museum. We have a replica handcart, and we've recently been designated as an interpretive site for the Mormon Pioneer Trail by the National Park Service. That was quite a nice honor for us.
How far back does your participation with the Historical Preservation Society there in Macedonia go? How long have you been involved with it?
Since the beginning. There was a historical society whenever we celebrated our town centennial, but it wasn't until 2000 that we got really organized and started doing projects and purchased some Main Street buildings and fixed those up. So I've been president of Macedonia Historical since October of 2000.
So you have, as you said, you've been there since the beginning, and
Yeah,
you've seen a lot of things go through. And I have talked before on this show about the different communities that we have around all of Southwest Iowa, but also in Pottawattamie County, that even when they experience growth, they still manage to maintain their identity. And I think, and I think you would agree that uh, paying attention to and preserving our history is a big part of maintaining that identity.
it is. And that's Macedonia Historical's mission is to preserve and restore and educate, people about our history, and then to keep track of things as we go along too. We're new history being made every day.
That how do you then, as you're saying, you're keeping track of that? How do you identify those things? Does something happen and you say, you know what, we should document this. We should try to get some items to be able to include to be able to tell this story. How do you recognize those things?
Well, and it's hard to imagine how much there is. I mean, there's biographical histories, there's the school history, the different businesses. We have a collection of our yearbooks from Macedonia, Carson, Macedonia, and Riverside. Now we're a part of Riverside Community School District. Um, it's just, we do the best we can. We're an all volunteer based organization. We just keep track of what we can keep track of. We're kind of running out of space.
That's a good problem to have, I think.
It is, it is.
So now
And
you have an opportunity to work with some other communities and their museums. How's that process been? Has it been a learning experience for you doing that?
yes, each of our organizations and museums are unique. Nishna Heritage at Oakland is much bigger than we are. They started their museum long before we did. Um, the Carson Railroad Depot, or it's the Macedonia Railroad Depot in Carson, Iowa. That will be on the tour too. Colleen Wilbur will be there. She and her husband own that building on Commercial Street in Carson. Um, Sweet Vale of Avoca, I know they've restored the courthouse there in Avoca. They have a really nice museum. They have a lot of wildlife, animals that are taxidermied, and they also have a school building. And they have the little gazebo at the cemetery that's on the National Historic Registry. It's an 8-sided building. And then Walnut Creek in Walnut, they also have the Monroe Schoolhouse. So each of our communities, we work together with the volunteers and try to serve our community and share everything there is. Well, a lot of what there is to share.
So tell us about the museum tour or crawl, if you will, where
Yeah.
folks are going to be going to the different communities. How does this work? Is it just an opportunity for people to see this? Is there anything special happening on Sunday? How is this going to work?
It's a free event. Donations, of course, are cheerfully accepted. And this is on your own. Just go self-drive to whichever museum you want to start at, and take your time, or just catch a glimpse of each one. It's really more than one can see in one afternoon. The hours are from noon to 4. And Macedonia may have Dr. Guido Stempel make an appearance kind of in the middle of the afternoon.
So just to have a little bit of an extra presentation, then is that what that means?
Yes, it's no formal presentation. He'll just be there, greeting the guest and telling about his birds, and telling about his how he taxidermied. He used cedar shavings to taxidermy the birds. That's why we think they're so well preserved, and a heavy dose of formaldehyde.
Yeah, you're starting to get into a world that I know nothing about.
Yeah.
And the folks that do that I know have a real passion for it, and a lot of it is preserving history. And to
Yes.
have the forethought of when he was doing all of that and putting all of that together. That I think speaks volumes, because that's thinking ahead and saying, okay, we want to be able to keep these things for future generations.
A big share of the birds, well, most of the birds are local. He did do some traveling. I think there are 4 other states that he traveled to, but it is a wonderful collection. People can also see that. There's a video that Pottawattamie County Tourism Committee did a few years ago. And so you can go to YouTube/ Stemple Bird Museum or Pioneer Trail Museum, YouTube, Nishna Heritage Museum, YouTube Sweet Vale of Apoka Museum, YouTube Walnut Creek Historical Museum, and see a nice video of those.
So how, as you said, this is a free event. Is it not ticketed at all? Is just kind of coming and come as you are and come as you and take something in? It's reminding me a little bit of the time that I did the tour of the bridges of Madison County. You just kind of
Yes,
do it on your own, and
that's right.
go around it, and to be able to do that. Is there any place where people can get more information about it, such as where are all the museums located or anything like that?
We do have a flyer. I think that's going to be on the Western Iowa Development um,
Okay,
it's a page
right.
and what away page, and it's on Macedonia Historical Preservation Society Facebook page. So check it out, and we hope to have a good turnout. I know it's impossible to see everything, but at least they can get an idea of what there is to see in our county. And maybe on another day, they can go back and visit the museum again for a more in-depth discovery.
That was actually going to be my next question, was the hours of what you have there in Macedonia. I mean, is the museums usually open?
We're usually open Saturdays from 1 to 4, and always we're most happy to open by appointment. We'll be open Donny Day. That's coming up in August, the 15th, 16th, and 17th. So again, um, they can call my number, or they can look on the Macedonia City website and find a phone number. There's phone numbers in the museum window, and hopefully we'll just be there.
That it sounds like it's going to be just a tremendously wonderful event. And I am before we wrap up, Ruby, something that I like to talk to folks about, especially that live in our area, is why it is that you have chosen to live where you live in this part of the world. Because I personally think, since first experiencing Southwest Iowa in the mid to late 90s, that goes back to when I first had a chance to come here and spend any amount of time here. There's something special, I think, about Southwest Iowa and about the sense of community all across Southwest Iowa, and including the smaller communities in Pottawattamie County. So I wanted to get your take on that, because you live here, and it's obviously you have a passion for it. So
Yes, I do. I love Macedonia and my community and all our rural communities. I grew up on a farm, and I still live on a farm. My husband and I have been farming and raising kids and watching grandkids for a lot of years, but um, we're in the heartland, and I think people have a warmth about them here that you don't always find everywhere in the United States. So I think it's a good place to be.
there's you talked about YouTube videos. There's one out back in the early 80s in the area that I grew up in Northwest Iowa. PBS had come, and you remember the actor Hal Holbrook? He was hosting a show and talking about a family that actually their daughter went to school with my brother. So we knew them very, very well. And it talked about how the other farmers in the area all came together to help him get his crops in, because he was in the hospital getting a heart transplant. And it's really nothing that has to be discussed. It just kind of happens that your neighbors, and you being in the farm community, you know that if somebody's in need, there's no question. It's just everybody's right there to help automatically.
Exactly. And I know several instances where they've helped farmers with their crop. And like our small community of Macedonia, if something needs to be done, it's a great, people just pull together if there's something that needs to be done or a project completed. They really work well as a team.
So let's talk one more time about the hours of the museum tour. When will folks be staffed there that people can stop by?
Okay, so the museum tour, the museum crawl is this Sunday, the 13th of July, and it's from noon until 4. And you can just start at any one of the museums and just go to however many you can get to and enjoy your time.
I can't think of a better way to pass the time on a Sunday afternoon than taking in some history around the smaller communities of Pottawattamie County. Thank you so much, Ruby. Grateful for your time. I know
Thank
that you probably don't have a lot of podcast experience.
No.
But see, you did great.
Well, thanks for making it work for us.
All right. We'll talk again very, very soon.
All right. Thanks so much.
Do you have a leak, a clogged drain, or are you planning a big remodel? Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs has you covered with fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, handling everything from small repairs to major installations. And don't forget, for air conditioning service, and before you know it, you're going to be wanting to get your furnace looked at. It's better to be ahead of these things than behind. AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning in Council Bluffs can help you with that as well. WaldsteinPlumbing.com, AirServeCouncilBluffs.com are the websites. And if you need precision metal fabrication done right, look no further than Foxco Fabrication. Custom welding, large-scale manufacturing, bringing your ideas to life with expert craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. Whether it's industrial, commercial, or custom fabrication, they're going to get the job done on time and built to last. FoxcoFab.com is their website. Again, thank you to Ruby Bentley for joining us today on the show. You did great, Ruby. You're an old pro just like that. You're now a veteran of podcasting, and you're welcome back here anytime. Always looking for more guests to bring on the Local Roots Show. So if you know of someone such as Ruby or anyone else that is making small town Southwest Iowa home and has a story to tell, we'd love to help you do that. So send me an email, toddstuder@gmail.com, or just comment right here while you're watching this podcast, and we'll make connection and see if we can't get that interview on. My name is Todd Studer. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.